Okay. Are we live? Let's go check.
Welcome to week number. What number are we on, Mike?
I'm pretty sure it's 55.
Week number 55 of our Visibility University Ask Us Anything. So we're now live, verifying we are all over the interweb, and we are open and waiting for any comments, questions that we can help with. And Mike is busy making sure
100%. Always making
that
sure that
everything's going up.
100%.
Web, and we are open and waiting for any comments, questions.
There we go. Okay, that's good. Looks good.
Turn myself in the background.
So it happens when you're live and you're doing production checklist to make sure everything looks good on all the channels it's going to. So we'll just see if we have anybody gonna want to jump. See if we have anybody come and jump in the VIP room with us today or not. And maybe do you want to discuss what we went to yesterday for YouTube or?
Yes, I'm just putting, I'm just dropping the proper spelling in the link to drop your comments and questions in the chat, and we will answer those, whatever you drop in the chat. But why don't you get started? Did you want to explain it? And then,
all right. So we're just outside of Toronto because we get invited to these YouTube creator events every once in a while, which is a nice benefit of being in the YouTube partner program. We get, invites to events. If we're able to show up, we show up. Sometimes they are training specific. Sometimes they are the one in Toronto yesterday was just a watch party because it's World Cup. First World Cup game ever held on Canadian soil was the game we watched yesterday, Canada versus Bosnia. So it's just, kind of, this is the first creator event in Canada that we've actually come to, and I think it's the first one I've ever seen them advertise in Toronto. So we were and where they're streaming from. Right? So it's interesting. You're like, just so you know, we need to get there early. And when you're standing in line, you're not really talking to anybody. But then when you get in the room, you're like, hey, that person looks familiar. Our daughter, as soon as we walked into the room, she recognized one of the creators she knew. So the best benefit of going to these is that I want her to mingle with people she's seen online, and it's interesting. And then I'm like, hey, this person looks familiar. Hey, this person looks familiar. It's just interesting when you come from YouTube's one of those things where you're not doing it. You may be doing a show with other people, but you're recording yourself and throwing yourself up on the internet and building your fan base and your audience base. And you don't really interact with other YouTubers unless you go to these YouTube specific events. So it's just kind of interesting to see that everybody starts somewhere with their YouTube channel.
They do. And I would definitely agree with you. It's interesting to see people that I don't really follow, but I'll see their images because YouTube keeps recommending it. I'm like, I swear I've been recommended this person's stuff multiple times. And then finding out that Penelope might follow them or you might follow them, and then that's probably why they show up in my For You, right? So it's and then you're like, okay, and it's different because YouTubers are so different than like if you were in like a Hollywood crowd, right? Like because you've got literally just normal people, and at the same time, what was very interesting with this one is that you could bring a guest if they weren't a creator, right? So creators had one what would you call it? Like
Lanyard.
lanyard, and then the guests had a different one. So I'd be sitting there trying to go, well, if I don't recognize them, I wonder what kind of content they make, right? But it was really good. The food was good, no complaints. My Penelope went back for multiple like times for chicken. So there's lots of food, which was wonderful. And we got some. I did get some video of it before it was attacked, because the
Food did
YouTuber.
the food did not last long, so
No, well, what did last was chicken and mac and cheese. Everything else by the end was gone. There was fries. I think they did bring more fries back, but it was really, really great, and we got a lot of fun things, because I know we were in line early. We got there, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, they're gonna open in like 20 minutes," and there's a couple people standing on the side, and I'm like, "Okay, Penelope, why don't you stand here waiting, and I'm gonna go quickly run back." I hadn't even gone 5 minutes, and there was a massive lineup. So we were one of the first few to get in. And one of the perks I have to show off is, some of the tables were decorated, not all of them. There was ones that had like a big soccer ball, FIFA branded. There's one with Team Canada, and then we at our table, FIFA World Cup. So I got one of those fancy scarves for that, because I went and got the table with it, and just, inconspicuously put it on.
claimed a table. We claimed it.
Like,
That's what we did. We're like, hey, there's swag here. We're just gonna claim a table and sit down, and then
take a
people.
swig.
Then we had a lot of people. Hey, is this table taken? We're like, of course, because we're already sitting at it, and there's no more free seats because we're front row.
Well, in fairness, another lady who had kids, so we were probably like, there was a few kids around. She had brought her kids with her, and she sat with us. So the kids, when they're gone, the seats aren't filled. But it was really good. I'd say the best thing was seeing that Canada didn't lose, which was a win. I'm like, we tied, so it wasn't a total wash. Would have been better to win, but and it was interesting going into Toronto and having so many events going on, because the Blue Jays were going on. It was so busy, and we got through one intersection just as they were closing it. It was like really, I would have to say, divine timing. How literally the road was closed right behind us. We get into the event, and then within like less than 5 minutes, we just missed. We were just ahead of the crowd everywhere we went.
No,
Right.
no, no. We turned on. We turned left onto the road in front of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and we're like, okay, they're literally the lights are out, and it's the police are in the intersection directing traffic. But I'm like, wait a minute, it looks like there's a motorcade about to roll through, because the Fairmont Hotel is on that same street.
Yeah.
And we just noticed that there was a full line of black SUVs in front of the Fairmont, and then the police motorcade, and we got a big truck. So we got a big truck, and there's no margin for error, because when you're passing vehicles and you got like maybe 1 or 2 inch clearance on the other side, you're like, this is super tight. And then the police motorcade squeezed next to us and parked in front of us, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna shut down the road, and then they let us through, and we're like, oh, they're shutting down the road. So
No, I would say we had really good timing. So if you want to talk about like a serendipitous event, we were just going with the flow. We were like, we weren't even purposely run. We didn't run behind. We got out at the time we wanted to, but not expecting how bad it would be with all the events, even with them promoting transit. And of course, but there's three of us in the vehicle, right? Not really anticipating, which everybody was the soccer event or
well,
football.
we knew it, just we're kind of like, we're not from Toronto, so we're like, hey, how close can everything be together? Well, BMO Field, where World Cup's being played, is not that far from. Oh wait, the Yankees are in town for like a triple header this weekend, so there's baseball and soccer happening not that far from each other. So
Well, and we were right across from when we got out, finally, when we did leave, which we left hours after the event, and because we got a great bonus, so which we'll talk about in a second as well. But when we left, it was really that realization we were across from the CN Tower. It's a CN Tower, right? And right across from the from the baseball game, right?
Roger Center, formerly Skydome, yes.
Yeah, so that was actually kind of cool, and everyone was going to the game, and then we walked. You had found an awesome parking spot because there is not a lot of places to park with our big truck in downtown Toronto. It is not made for our size truck, and you had done your research and lucked out that you got an outdoor parking spot. So we had to make it worth the $40 to pay for the parking to get down there. But we were right by it. We got to tour the lakefront and see the US across the lake and wave to it. Any comments on that?
No, it's shut up. We planned
My
the
plan?
part so that we knew, this is the whole thing. It's like making your show.
Exactly.
And not everything may go right. We know this parking spot that we're currently. I'll bring it up. This parking spot we're in. We're at a campground outside of Toronto, and we've been here before. We knew there's lots of trees, but it's where we could park. So we're like, hey, we're just gonna deal with it for 2 nights. Cross our fingers. Starlink internet is not too terrible. Well, how was Thursday?
So we rescheduled. Well, we didn't reschedule it. We just pushed back the time, which would have been perfect. We would have had enough time if technology wanted to work. We could not get the internet to work, not well at all. So we ended up going with plan A was to be here on time. Okay, well, we're like, okay, we're getting tight for time. And we did struggle to find our site and get parked properly. So there was a little bit about that because it was in a different area than where we had been before. Not excuses, just real life, right? So anticipating that, we rescheduled it, going a little bit later, and then go live, but nothing's working, right? We would have had enough time to get live, but nothing works. So we go to plan C essentially, which was then we recorded it, which we still ended up when I was going through it this morning, putting in the chapters, and there's still parts where I just kind of disappeared for a few moments during it, and then I cut back in, right? And we're like, well, we got to plan C. It showed up. It was a couple hours late, but we did eventually get something live streamed. Not my preferred, because we can only record it in one. I can't do vertical and horizontal, so I could only record it in one. However, we did still show up using plan C and adapting to it because, sometimes that's exactly what happens. Even with the best plans, you're like, okay, this should work, this should work. And then you're like, this is just not gonna work, right? Like we're just gonna throw that out and we're just gonna record something and get it up tonight, right?
Yeah, exactly. It took us like 2 hours to get Starlink internet to work. Like 2 hours. Like it's currently on the top of my RV, and we've never, in 2 years with this RV, I've never had to put it on the top of the RV because it usually works wherever we are with a little bit of playing with angles and like whatever, right? But
You just
no, it
can't
was
get enough space here. There's just not enough space between the trees. It was actually one of the easier parts or spots to park in for the amount of trees, but the trees just overlap that it's just it's super difficult to get that internet and how important it is for what we're doing and showing up. Okay, well, maybe I should have planned that in advance. I prefer to go live and, 99% of the time we can get the internet at least working for us to get live, right? But that is part of just going with the flow of creating, right? Is that you're just gonna, you plan for the best scenario. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but the most important thing, and this we really want to teach and instill in people, is still showing up, right? Whether it's perfect or not, you still showed up because we're committed to doing these shows. I had the shows planned, committed to go. I'm not going to waste all the time of me planning, getting everything ready, and not show up, right?
well,
And even if like worst case scenario, even if we would have showed up tomorrow, yet the next morning or something, I still would have done that at some point, right?
and we tell our students in YouTube University in the building out their visibility engine, their video content for their business. I'm like, you got options, right? You can record and upload that, or you can live stream, right? Those are the two methods of making content and getting it uploaded. And yesterday when we were at the event, so we did it typically with live stream, but we're like, hey, we're late. with tech issues. Let's just record it and then we will reschedule it. And we got it done. Not every single production is going to be 100% smooth and perfect. You just get it done. When we were at the event yesterday, I had there's people behind me, and they were like talking about their production cycles. So that's what I love to hear from any creator is like, how are they producing their content, and what type of do they run into any struggles with it, and how do they overcome those struggles? Because everyone who's making content has just crazy stories to tell you, because you're like, hey, I see your content, and then when they kind of tell you how they do it, and they're like, it's one video per month. I'm like, that's crazy. It's taking you a month to make a video. And he's like, some of them I can't even release because I wasn't able to confirm my thesis or whatever. He's an engineer, so he was like doing engineering things and 3D printing, and he's like, if it doesn't work, I don't release it. And I also know that if I don't get thousands of views within 48 hours, I just like, I'm this, it's a flop. That is okay. That is pressure. But I like hearing that stuff, just because we have 4 shows we go live with every
Well,
single week.
it's a mindset. It is mindset. Like, obviously, he's looking for perfectionism, and and all I can compare it to, which everybody always loved, was Mythbusters. It's kind of
Yeah.
like he's doing a version of that, right? And so, even if they couldn't prove a thesis, they would even still do the video and go, well, we couldn't prove or deny it. It's still up in here. Or if you did prove against it, you could still post against it, right? So I find, like, sometimes we have to really change our perspective, because I would say probably for that person, it's better to show up every month at least, even if it takes you a month to do it, whatever you've created, to show up and just let it be. And then to also give up on your content so early on, when we know so many other stories of creators where it's older content that did
Back.
Can you hear me?
I
I
can
don't know.
hear you
Am I
now.
back? Perfect.
We've already announced we got some tech issues with the internet in this current spot. So whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. But this is
Well,
why. Go ahead.
well, sorry, I just want to shout out to Kirsten. Thanks for watching.
Good
And yes,
morning.
showing up is the key. And she also posted that she had no content, but she figured out how to repurpose, which is awesome. That is exactly what you want to do. It doesn't mean you need to make new content all the time. It's using what you have and putting it out, because you never know who's going to see it when, because we are fully aware social my end.
Yeah.
They disappear like my internet.
It's
You
at
talk.
90. It's at 92% clear sky, but that 8% is what we're missing.
And I talk too fast for that.
And
So,
there's no.
like I said, did you get my I'm intending you got my point with that. No?
Yes. No.
My point was not necessarily giving up on your content, knowing your content needs to be around, and finding uses for what you already make. Now, fair enough, I have a gazillion videos that I could probably repurpose, and I am going back and doing that with some of them onto different channels or trying it again. However, I'm not gonna lie, on my own personal thing, I like making new content because a lot of our stuff is very timely and is very much about the current time. So I do feel that. But that is exactly what you want to be doing, Kristen, is repurposing the stuff you already have, so you're showing up as new, because you never know who's going to catch you when you go live at at each time.
And literally, that's how that's how TV schedules are built. It's replays, 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 replays.
Yeah. How
right?
many
Like,
reruns of MASH did you watch in your life? Or Dallas in the middle of the night? Or all those old ones like the Andy Griffith Show, TBS Superstation in the middle of the night.
and this is why we chose not Restream, because you can literally go in and upload the platform we're using to stream these shows. This is the same software we teach our students in Visibility University, and you can go and take past recordings or upload content and reschedule it. So there's a calendar with this software. You can schedule your reruns to happen all throughout the week, all throughout the month. It's very
Well, and that's
powerful.
and so for, like the creator that was talking about spending a month to make a video and doesn't necessarily always even post them, and if they don't get the views that person expects in a certain amount of time, they then hide them. Both of those are not the most successful mentality, because if you're making content and been successful, people want to see it. And if you can make a joke or humor or just an information on something that isn't successful, people are going to find that interesting, because that's also a great video of going, okay, this didn't work as in the end, right? Not having success. Do you want to try it again? Do you want me to try it again? What would you suggest? And there's a call out to your viewers, right? So I feel like nothing is wasted. It's just changing your perspective of content and getting out of the perfectionism era, right? Because there is nothing that's perfect. And even with network TV, and we've mentioned this before, going back inconsistencies where suddenly somebody's got a different color polish or is just moved and it wouldn't have been moved, right? So there's always little things that people can notice. Majority don't though, right?
100%. And those are if they notice something, those are just the little Easter eggs that you're leaving for those are those continuity shots. You're like, wait a minute, did that person change an outfit? This episode was
Their hair
obviously
was moved. That camera angle, they had they had it on the one side. After the camera, it was on the other side, right?
yeah, exactly.
You didn't
Exactly.
see the movement hair, right?
But if anybody's noticing that stuff, then you got a fan
Ex
because
Yeah, exactly, right? And the reality is I feel like most of the going back to the person that's just like censoring themselves, because that's what you're doing. You're making all this content and then you're self-censoring your content, right? And oh, where was I gonna go with that? Oh my god. I need more coffee. I was totally in that line of thought and then it just literally just
when I went to an arcade.
Oh, are you talking about the arcade now? Sorry, I froze
Yeah, yeah,
again for a
yeah,
moment.
yeah, 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 exactly. That's why we're tired, because we drove an hour and a bit each way, then had the event, and then we had to go gaming because we're not gonna come back and use these game cards. The bonus we got for showing up early was these game cards, and we're like, hey, we didn't know we got 3 game cards, so
Well, why don't you show first? So all the stuff, because we were told the first 70 that were early would get a bonus, which we did not get. But I got my scarf because there's only a few of the tables that had the decor, right? And then we go to leave, and Mike's telling me, he's like, I see there's bags with AstroTurf. I'm like, what? Like in my mind, AstroTurf and bags don't compute. Why don't you show them the best AstroTurf bag there is?
AstroTurf.
Nice. And the back, show the whole like 360-degree view of your
Yeah,
of
that
the
that
Astro.
that pla that plastic smell.
Nice. I'm gonna say they are built well. They can actually, the only thing that now might go would be the handles. We might need to reinforce, but I'm actually pretty impressed. Who knew I needed a reusable bag made out of AstroTurf? And then we were talking about how actually that's a great idea because it was all about the soccer, right? That was the event for the YouTube. So of course AstroTurf for soccer. I'm getting the theme. So that was kind of funny. And then we got these cards for the rec room for all the games, right? And so our daughter went hog wild playing games because we had, I don't even know how much money they put on each of the cards, but you have to convert them into the credits, right? So you can redeem them for prizes. And so she ended up getting herself like shadow editing. There we go. I'm a shadow here. But I wanna should I show the big one that we took away with all our with the card that she got the most points on?
Sure.
So Mike's Father's Day present, here you go.
Can't go to Toronto without coming back with a Blue Jay swag, right?
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
There you go. The gnome Blue Jay pillow that we won. Actually, our daughter collected enough points, so we took away something as our memorabilia from Toronto. So I'd say not too bad. We got our AstroTurf bags. I got myself a FIFA scarf, World Cup scarf. We got ourselves a Blue Jay gnome pillow, and I think we got some pop. We came back with some pop as well.
Yeah, and the comment I was gonna make was that that's the whole reason I started YouTube University, Visibility University. This Saturday morning call was because most you shouldn't have to wait until YouTube invites you to an event for you to mingle with other creators, right? Because the guy, as example, the guy who was behind me, the engineer, talking about how it takes him a month to make a video. That's typical. That maybe I don't know if that's a typical create profit. See, some people never get their videos uploaded. They make them, they never get them uploaded because they don't have that peer support or tech troubleshoot it. Everyone needs somebody. You need a group. You need help, mindset help, creation help, idea help, etc., because you just need it. And if you don't have groups like that, then stuff never gets created, or
Well, okay.
it's taking you a month to do it.
Well, in fairness, if you think about it, like when we started down this path, you're learning random things from other YouTubers online, right? But you don't really know any YouTubers. Like very rarely do you know somebody who's committing to putting videos up online all the time. You just don't. Like that's not the norm. And so then when you start running into the people who are doing the same thing, have started to find a passion for it, are making content, right? And are somewhat successful, like, these creators showing up, they're creating content, right? That's why they're part of it. So they are creating, and and they're all having different levels of success and difficulties, right? Like it was like the lady that sat at our table. I looked up hers and I could see she had lots and lots of followers, but her videos didn't get a lot, like not a huge amount of views when you compare like the amount of subs I have to the amount of views, or even our daughter and the amount of subs she has to views, right? But then you're like, well, how do these people retain and watch more of it? Just asking these other questions, because success on YouTube looks very different for each creator, right? So that's also the thing. And then being able to talk to somebody else who or meet other people that are in this, because there's no university class. Like this is the closest thing. You have to go learn this yourself. Or you got to pay somebody who's mastering it or mastered it, and they might be mastering old skills. So who knows if you even pay for somebody, if they're going to be able to help you get relevant on YouTube, right? So it's like this weird, I think it's almost like the Wild West at a level, right? Because I think that's why they're starting to do the creator events, and a lot of the creator forums that we've been part of is so you can talk to other people who are doing it, because a lot of people are faceless channels where they're doing food blogs or gaming and stuff, and they may not actually be in front of the camera, which is what we noticed too. And then also realizing how 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people can be all over the world. So this person can have a lot of followers and you've never seen them before, right? So it's interesting on how, like we're in a totally different way of communicating and information as well as entertainment, which is totally that Uranus and Gemini. And I think that the creator events really highlight that. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely does because we've been to a mix because you know, and of course we announced we're coming to Toronto and had people like, how do you get these invites? And I was like, I respond to all the emails. YouTube said I sign up for a ton of not mean we get accepted into all of them. But if I'm not showing that I'm interested in the events and the other emails I get, then they're not going to keep emailing me in the future, right?
Well, that's exactly
So
like
they,
I get invited often to a lot of their like they have sprints. So they'll be like, "Okay, can you make this many videos in this or whatever?" They'll give you some kind of like competition thing. And then if you meet it, you win prizes. And I meet and succeed. So I actually won. I won, which we're gonna have to pick up. Yeah, I won that. The lights. I've won. We won the sweaters. We were both participating in that one. The recent one that I participated in, and you didn't, was lives, and that was also why the push was to get more lives because he had so many like actually just it hasn't even ended. It doesn't end until June. But I finished the criteria and I was in the first 100 to do it. So I got a bonus. So I've got a picnic blanket and a YouTube picnic blanket and a YouTube cooler waiting for me at our friend's house. So I like, oh, this is kind of fun. And if I didn't participate, then I wouldn't be invited to them. And if I didn't meet the criteria, I wouldn't get these personal invites. So being part of the creator is one thing. A lot of people can get those, but if you get invited to things and you don't sign up for them, they do stop inviting you for things. So it's, so sometimes it's like,
in a
I
sense,
remember,
since I feel like I've lost some invites, but I still get invites, but I don't get the same invites you get. So it's like,
no, you
wait a
don't.
minute.
Yeah, because you're not as good as me. Just saying.
This is why there is a community so we can share our experiences because we've been, I think we started going to the creator events 2025.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah, yeah, January. Because
it
I
was,
think,
yeah, because you went to the Sims one in New York. That was the
mhm.
first one that what you we got to hit up, right? So and it I don't know how they do that and what you get invited and what you don't get invited to. However, you know, reading the emails because I remember the first time I was invited to them and I'm like, "Is this a scam?" And then actually it was when you got invited.
I thought the invite to the creator, the YouTube creator, I
Reconnecting. Okay, I'm like,
yeah, I'm back too now.
okay, there you go. Woo. But yes, we thought they were scams, but they weren't. We've gotten, and I'm going to say it is enjoyable to see people, and especially having our daughter who is a creator and gets accepted to these events herself, which is why we got 3 of the like cards. So we got a whole bunch of, be able to redeem for points and stuff like that. Um her meeting other creators is definitely motivation for her to then create more because then she's seeing and meeting the people she's seeing online and then it motivates her and she's I'm going to say she's definitely one of the most consistent creators and she is self-motivated and she gets so mad when she has not hit her target of her video every week. So it's kind of funny on that. And that's not from us. We do not push her into creating
And
content. This took her wearing me down to finally let her create content and put it online. And now she's bugging us because she really wants to come on our show. So I need to find a way that I'm going to add her into our Too Real show because she really wants to show up on it because she loves that show. And it's the I Am an Asshole show. And I'm like, well, do I need to rename it? Because technically it's inappropriate, but she's almost 14. She can get her learner's permit in the province we are from. So it's like, well, she already has a bad mouth and swears. So I'm not gonna censor that, but I don't know how appropriate and people may not like that, but I don't know. Okay, now it's off. Jump in. wanted to cover something today. And so I'm like, you might have to cover it. Because am I the one that just keeps
Well,
disconnecting?
we're on the same internet. It would be both of us dropping off at the same time.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get through what we wanted to talk about today.
All
Let me
right.
jump. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. The 4 trust triggers of visibility. Get seen, get trusted, get results. This is what we want to talk about. Any thoughts on that before I go to the second screen?
Get seen, literally. It's just what needs to happen. Get seen is what needs to happen. And how many times do I point out to you social media posts where people have said, "Oh, it's the year, it's the month. Wait for my video content to come out," and I'm like, "There's nothing." Right? So I know everybody's got this grand, like the launch. I think people just don't have a launch sequence. This is what we're teaching in the Visibility University. Is literally to start creating that content and get it built out and get that schedule built, because you got to plan this stuff. You got to plan it and build it in order to be seen, right? And you need to increase that frequency. That's why the key component is like 1 video a week minimum, because we need to get you started.
And one of the ladies I was listening to, somebody who is posting about a lot of things changing, especially with the AI and YouTube and everything, and says there is a trend for education and learning. So longer content like that is going to be the key of where people are going to go. And everybody does recommend, like, it's not about finding trends. It's like if you find a trend that you can work with and it helps promote, or it fits you and it's something you can do, great. But the point is doing something that you can maintain, that is being visible, showing your skill sets, right? So the right content of like what you're interested in, what you have a passion in, what can you offer to other people? Do you like our daughter? Our daughter does, like, she likes making entertainment and makes people laugh or think. Like, she likes doing these short videos. She likes
Are we back? Are we back?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, keep going.
So owner visibility, it's the right content for the right person at the right time. And that's what you have to think about. Is not everyone is going to be the right person at the right time. They might not be. Why? Well, I keep losing the internet. I just keep losing the internet. So keep that in mind. Relevance. Your next viewer may arrive years from now. So that's the first thing to keep in mind is, you know what? Whatever you're teaching, whatever service you're offering, not every client, every person that's in time that you did put out that video, is also why with the one creator who spends a month and may or may not even put that video out is actually doing a disservice, because they don't know how they can still use it as content to keep the viewers engaged and find that relevance of when they're going to find it interesting, right?
100%.
Okay. Ooh, here we go. Oh, that's number 3. Where did I relevant? Oh, no. Relevance. Sorry, relevance. Yeah. I don't know where I am. Then we're on.
Wait. We just figured out a different way to preload all the images. So we just figured that out.
Be gentle. I'm not perfect. I'm not AI. And even with AI, it is still not perfect. Using it already today and finding it make a mistake and being like, confirm this. And it's like, yeah. I'm like, but you said this. It's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right. That's why I have to read everything you do. Like, I'm homeschooling my AI. Anyways, that's a side note. The next visibility is validation. So this is also the next part of what you're looking for. Is great content isn't enough. It has to be trusted, right? Like, so do you keep showing up, right? Are you showing that you have mastered this knowledge? Are you talking about the same thing? Are they seeing, you know, um, why they would want to trust you, right? So they want to know why are you the authority of that, right? Any comments on that, Mike?
Well, hey, showing up and being consistent with showing up, you're instantly going to build the trust, right? It's what I'm literally going through YouTube accounts all the time, and I'm like, people are like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, you haven't posted in like 4 months. What happened? They're like, what do you mean? It's just like I'm like, if I'm as an outside observer see inconsistency with video like it's if it just like it's I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but you need to be consistent. You need to show up, and that's in right, because if they tent and you need to double
Well,
down
and if
on
you're
that.
talking about the same thing and it continues to show that you're not full of hot air, you're talking about what you're promoting, what you're talking about, right? And there is ways like when you're going, you have your diplomas out, like you can always have the other things so visually people can see them when you go out, when you go online, right? I think also validation is actually having a website, even though the website is super, like people don't go to websites really anymore. They're going to search for you, but they do search for your company and they'll use Google and YouTube. They will. And if your website and your social media show found, right? So you finding more also get a lot more validation because you're not just showing up in one place, right? Like it's showing you're here and you're
They're still there. I'm just
okay,
fine.
okay, good. But
I'm
you know
not
what
sure.
I'm
As I said, we're not sure about the internet today, so we're just going to do this. And next Saturday
We'll be in a more open area. We will. Even for tomorrow's live, we will be in a much more open area. But anyway, so the validation can be just showing up everywhere. Website, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, um, whichever social medias you're using, right? And so that is going to give you validation as well. So the more you're showing up and you're showing up everywhere and you've got a website that people can, it doesn't even have to be anything fancy. Just a link, it just shows you exist, right? All of those are being visible and will help get that trust and that validation. The next part here is social proof. People follow what others already trust, right? So then as you're and people will start to follow when they start to see you all the time, or they start to see, oh, okay, this person is saying walking the walk and talking the talk, right? Um, and then that's going to get you into being more confident because you're showing up and being consistent, but it is going to give more confidence to people going, oh, okay, this person said this and then they showed up here, right?
And you remember yesterday when I told you I had like new Facebook followers, and I'm like, I didn't think I'm like, I met you in person like a year ago, and now you're following. Now you've accepted the Facebook request, so that's super interesting. That of course, if you look at my Facebook profile, it's video. There's 4 live streams every single week, and other.
And other content, it is,
It
yeah.
doesn't mean you're gonna like what I post, but the new people who follow me, it's always I'm like, oh wow, you got to post for engagement, even if it's not. And it's like, oh, this is interesting. You start following me, and the first thing you comment on, you didn't like what I posted. So, but I responded back to you because I'm trust. That's what I do. I make post. I put videos out there. You comment. We're gonna comment back. I put something on my Facebook. You don't
Well,
like it. You make a comment.
It's funny because now I definitely when I go on, especially on Facebook, and I go and I'm like, "Is this person doing a trigger comment just for comments?" Right? Like, are they saying this to make
Engagement posts.
it's not engagements, it's trigger because when people had to post to help the algorithm, and then I get more views. And, now I just walk away from the circus. And then realizing when I maybe inadvertently have done that to start a circus without because I did that. I did do that a week and a bit ago where I posted something and then I actually could feel myself getting exhausted by the amount of comments back on this posting on a specific page I had made that I was like, I'm just gonna put that to sleep and I'm
Well,
just not
Julie, it comes
more.
down to it comes down. Remember, there's so many people who tell me I post too much. You post too much. You promote yourself too much, and I'm like, you're getting bothered yourself to me.
Well, I feel like when somebody tells you you're posting too much is well, first off, it's because there's a level, unfortunately, that they're not really realizing within themselves of insecurity because they wish they were so showing up so much that they were annoying, right? So there is like because all I see is or whatever. There is a level of like jealousy to that because you want Michael Duffy to just see your face too, right? And
I
you
do
can
see
do
your face
that.
if you post.
And the reality is everybody can do that. You have to get over your own well, it's like when our daughter says, "Oh, that's so cringe." And we're like, "Well, we don't care if it's cringe, do it anyways," right? Do it anyways, because the reality is it's not cringe to everyone and not you the person that is saying you show up too much, they're obviously on one social media so much that you show up, right? Um, that's not the norm. A lot of people don't spend that much time on social media. And then there's anything in between, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you don't need more content. This would be just like Kristen that showed up, right? You need a visibility system. So you don't have to be like us. You don't have to be doing 4 shows every week and bringing new content and coming up with new content every week. You do not need to do that. We're doing an exception. We're doing our own testing over here. We're over here just
This is a literally production test and saying, hey, we have students who want to live stream, they want to schedule stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're testing out all the tools. So we're here to support you with what your goals are with your shows because
Mhm.
the only way to get better and smoother at these tools is to literally test them every single day.
Exactly. So it's for us to improve our skills as well as I actually really like all the shows that we're doing, including this visibility university. Like I actually really they all overlap and I find the content for myself great. I love the content. Whether other people do, whatever. I'm clearly making these videos for myself. And fair enough, you have to be like not only your own perfectionist to get over, you also have to be somebody who's your own fan, right? So you got to get over your perfectionist issues, be your own fan to your own content. You
You
do,
gotta be
right? You gotta be it.
you gotta be your own biggest fan because
If
you
you
need
don't
fans.
love your content and if you aren't proud of your content, no one else is gonna be,
I
right? Like, if
remember
you're looking for consistently other people might come back and say, I like that you did it." That's great if you get that feedback, but often the only time you get feedback is when people aren't happy. When they make they get the time they're gonna say stuff feedback is when they're not happy. When they're happy, they're just gonna be quiet. So if you don't cheer yourself on and you're waiting for outside people to cheer yourself on in real life, you might just be unalive before that happens.
I'm gonna bring this back to like a business coach. And people may or may not know Grant Cardone, and what he always said was he's like, you see all this promotion, you see the shows, you see my I've branded my own clothing, like all this stuff isn't for the audience, it's for me to be my biggest fan, and what I'm doing is I'm literally doing tests. As like, hey, I came up with a new concept. I'm gonna record it and then record and then just watch it myself and then compare with what I said a month ago to today and see if that data actually matches up. I'm literally just documenting my business, my thought processes, and reminding myself I'm my own biggest fan. And I don't think Alec, no matter if you like him or not, I'm like that's the one thing I always appreciated was the honesty, was that everything he does is for you got to be your own biggest fan.
And I think if you come from that perspective, and you make things, so what you like about other creators or other people you're following, you start to do it, even though, like, okay, and in fairness, I get that, I understand this. Well, I don't maybe understand the psychology, but I understand what it's like to be in a creator. Okay, be like, oh, I like this, but I could never do this. Oh my god, this seems so much more difficult. Well, what really kind of happens, and this happened for myself, was by starting. By starting was the key, because if I didn't start, then I wouldn't have gotten, okay, well, this is getting easy. I've mastered how to make shorts. I can kind of play around with this shorts feature. Okay, I can kind of do this. Okay, well, now I really want more views. Well, now I got to get longer. Well, how do I do longer? Okay, I have to come to terms with, okay, I've got to be on camera now, right? And it was an adjustment. And then going, okay, when people join live, well, they don't know what we're talking about. Well, okay, can we add in an option to make it easier for people to know when they jump in live, so we get some images to go with the content? Like, this didn't happen overnight. It was a constant, like, building, watching, refining, and then things that I wanted to add to it. And the more I add, and we just before we didn't, or didn't see the point until I got to that level. But if you don't get a fan,
I'm here.
am I still live?
Yeah,
Okay, you're here. Who knows if we're
we don't
still
know.
live?
We have no idea. I like these slides though, so we'll see what the recording is like, and then
Exactly. So when we cut out, you just look at the pretty slides. So you don't need more content. You need a visibility system. So a lot of people, like we said, you're not doing 4 shows a week. You're gonna do maybe your show a week, and then you can use it to repurpose that show. You can take parts out of the show. You can make a lot of content even with something that's only 10 minutes long. Right. So that is part of it. And, trust doesn't happen by accident. It is through the consistency of showing up. I'm going to jump to the next slide unless you have anything else to add with that.
I'm just saying, you could literally record one show a week and then just reschedule it same times every single day.
Exactly.
And guess what? Yeah, people may see it, may think you're annoying, and they may never see it because of how the
Exactly.
how
You're
the
going to have
algorithms work.
Exactly. You might have that person that's like, man, you show up so many times. Like, you've literally, like, all I've seen is this. And then you'll have other people are like, I've never even seen you online. Because, well, first off, what social medias are on, how long they're on. Do they literally, like, a lot of people might just go on to post something and don't actually look, right? So you have to keep that in mind. But really, we want you to build your visibility engine. So learn with us. You start with us, join for $66 a month. You get to be on live calls. You get to join us, ask us your specific questions. We will help you. We also have a private Discord channel that is getting up and running, so you can ask us questions and you have access to us really through those means. Any other details on the first one?
No, it's just we got some feedback and we're like, hey, we can structure this because we know all of our students work at a different level, and you know we go at your pace because we've been going at our own pace and building out our video content over years. YouTube is not coming up with these shows, coming up with a structure, discovering this broadcast software, not an overnight process. Literally, you learn something, you do it, and then you're like, hey, I either like what I'm watching, whatever I'm creating and uploading, or I need some more assistance, more guidance. I need to solve something, and that's what we're
Exactly,
here.
exactly. So you start on the low end, you've got access to us, all our knowledge, we'll answer your questions, and you get priority in coming into these meetings. The next level up, you get a one-on-one call every month. You get extra learning calls and sessions, and we do show up to your lives. So we'll make sure that, once you go live, everything is running on the other end. We'll make sure you've got people in, testing the chat. We're going to be there for support during the process. And then our high-end package, where we literally hold your hand. We're going to hold you accountable. Depending on how much you need, you can have anywhere from a weekly meeting to multiple times a week if you're running into some issues. We literally customize it and help you where you're at to get successful. Any other comments on the tiers, Mike?
No, it just simply, you've got to invest in your visibility, and you may have content already out there that needs to be repackaged, repurposed. Most of the time, people have content just sitting out there. I'm like, literally, all we need to do is schedule it to be rebroadcasted with the broadcast system, because it's one thing to have stationary video on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's another thing to go live, and it doesn't actually have to be live. You can take any of your recordings and just rebroadcast those as lives to show up on
All the
just
platforms.
to show up.
Yeah,
Show up.
exactly. So your content isn't your problem. If it is, we can also give you that. But a lot of people already have that content. It's just getting that process down so your content gets out there. You get over your own issues, your own cringe hurdles that you have in your life, so you can get.
You know what? We're really, yes, we're teaching you how to create. It's really that repurposing and the distribution. I feel that that's what's missing from a lot of people's plans. They're like, well, I've got a podcast. And it's like, well, I'm like, where is it? They're like, what do you mean, where is it? I'm like, well, there's so many platforms. Are you expecting somebody who is new to you to go and discover your podcast? I'm like, you should be advertised everywhere. So it's like the final home is over here, but
Putting out your little digital spark energy, right? Like, don't forget I'm over here. Don't forget I'm over here.
well, there's very few people where I see them promoting that. Hey, if they're only doing a audio only podcast, and they're not just, I'm always, and they're not organically. We're teaching you in this how to make it, redistribute it, repurpose it, and organically shout out to the world. Hey, it's here, and this is where you find it.
Exactly, because that's what you need to do. We've talked about it. If you join us with any of our astrology, numerology that we look at, we are under that Uranus and Gemini, which is information, education, technology, and how we are cating, right? So all of those themes are in here, which is really you being visible is part of that huge. Appeared again.
You're back.
Am I back? Okay,
Maybe.
perfect. So we offer multiple tiers, and of course the free one is just join us every week. Join us every week. We come live. You can drop your question in the. Oh, that is not the live schedule one. You didn't. I thought the schedule was in there, Mike.
I just grabbed everything that you had in your folder.
It's because I left you. This is my weakness, is leaving my husband to yeah, image 11 did not show up, or is it
it's up the top.
Oh, it's because it messes with my mind. Okay, it did.
Is that the right one?
That is the right one. There we go.
You gave me a folder, and I uploaded the folder.
Technical difficulties, but I want to blame you because it's way more fun that way. Come on. So come live every Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern. You can join us and bring your questions, and we're always here to help you. No matter what your budget, you can join us for free. But Mike, why don't you go through our shows and let everybody know what we've got for them?
Okay, as we said, 4 live streams per week. You can subscribe to YouTube, Breathe Within Yoga on YouTube to catch them. The I am YouTube Famous to catch them. We're literally live streaming this to Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere, so you can't miss our shows. But if you want to get the notification emails that we're going live, then go subscribe on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Saturday, this show is started out as YouTube University. It's realistically Visibility University, because we're going to teach you how to create and distribute your content everywhere automatically. That's 9 a.m. Eastern every Saturday. Sundays is the Breathe Within Yoga show. We focus on the weekly energy forecast, 7:11 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. P.m. Eastern. That one is super fun because we're bringing in technology stories and having the audience guess which one is a lie. And then Thursday for Honestly Though, 7 p.m. Eastern.
I am struggling. I'm gonna make that is my second time, and I still spelt it wrong. So there was a space in the other one. Now it's I am YouTube.
That's okay. You know what? It's okay because we're already at the hour. So
Oh,
it's
we
time
are at
to,
the hour,
it's time
and
to
I
put on the
cannot
production
type.
anyway.
I cannot type. So there you go. Join us. Follow us at I Am YouTube Famous on YouTube, as well as at Breathe Within Yoga, and those are on the YouTube.
And we've had people ask us if they can join us on the podcast and on these shows. And what I suggest is reach out to us, because I think we'll have an open discussion with you to see up to the Saturday morning YouTube right?
Yeah, and what show they're interested in joining as well. And we definitely want to get some guests. So please do, if you are producing your own content, we would love to, cross pollinate, to, help each other out, add you into some of our shows, vice versa. So do reach out, especially if you're making content. Now, if you're not making content, we want to help you make content. Those are the ways. The final thing before we go, Mike, because the have.
And we're wrapping this up. We've got lots of different resources for you. You can access all of these on breathewithinyoga.com. So under digital downloads, we have the June 2026 Ground Your Expansion Divine Timing. Julie comes up using monthly guides. They're always available at breathewithinyoga.com. We also have a 6-month state-oriented guide. It runs from March to August 2026. Go check the descriptions on the website. The description's better than how I can describe it. We're also still looking for beta testers for our Awaken Light astrology and numerology app, the ecosystem that we're building out. We're fixing issues with it. We're getting ready for launch, but we still want more beta testers. We still want more variety of astrological signs in the app, testing it out, because the only way we can make stuff better is with more data, right? So you can sign up to become an Awaken Light beta tester at breathewithinyoga.com. Julie also started a new thing in June. It's called the Celestial Alignment Journey. Just entails.
It is a holistic hour and a half. We do restore yoga, going into the somatic releasing. So we're going to do a lot of restorative yoga, releasing into the somatic and nerves, so you can release all of that tension. We use sound healing. We use your astrology and numerology. I literally combine it all to make a customized healing session for you. We have 2 more sessions left, so do DM me if you're interested in joining. I will prorate you to come out for the last couple of sessions if you're interested.
And of course, YouTube Visibility Engine. I don't know if there's anything else I need to say about the YouTube Visibility Engine. You should be on
Enjoy
YouTube.
this.
Should
You've
be
got
on
this.
YouTube. You should be making content and you should be distributing it everywhere to reactivate your past and existing audience and find new audience, because every single business, author, nonprofit needs more support. You need more clients, you need more business. And the only way to make content, get out there, organically promote yourself. We teach you the whole system in YouTube Visibility Engine. You can go sign up at IamYouTubeFamous.com.
And
Right
don't
there on
ever
the screen. Right there on the screen.
don't ever tell me if you're on my if I'm vertical, it's above my head, and if it's landscape, it's over here. Don't ever tell me you don't need more customers, because at some point, even if you're running a senior's home, at some point they are no longer alive and you will need somebody else. So you always need to be seen. So on that, thank you again for joining us. And this was week, what was it again, Mike? 57.
55.
Week 55, Visibility University. We will be back again, same time next week, 9 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching us. Make sure you are subscribed. You'll be notified when we go live, and bring your questions. We'll answer them here. Have a great day.
Have a great weekend. Bye.